Hey everybody, welcome back to Battle Ready Inc. So this past weekend was the Dallas-Fort Worth Regional. We saw a huge turnout of BlackWarGreymon, WarGreymon, tribal decks in general. Just absolutely flooded the field. I even told my local guys, I was like, if I didn't already have my invite, BlackWarX would be the play for me, just because I felt like there's going to be a whole lot of blue flare out there, and I felt like BlackWarX just having that redirect ability would be invaluable in that matchup, in my opinion. So, and also with stuff like Hades Force for the Tamer hate decks out there, like, you know, Hunters and Cross and all that stuff, that would be extremely powerful. And then you have cards like Yuya that also help in the security control matchup. WarGreymon is like definitely like my number one pick, even though it didn't win or Blue Flare didn't end up taking it. It's still the deck that I would go with, so I thought I'd go ahead and throw you guys my version of the deck, what I'm a big fan of right now, and see what you think.
Also, this month's featured memory marker, handmade out of clay, hand-painted as well, all by my wife, Digimon, is now available. This is the baby form of Wormmon. If you want to pick up this little guy, he'll be on her Etsy page, link in the description below. Very, very cute. Love this guy. Also on her Etsy page, you can find all the previous memory markers that we featured on the channel in the past for her. So go check that out. Check out cardtrader.com just for signing up using the link in the description below. Using my referral, you get a free $2 to spend on whatever you want. Also, they have a really cool shipment thing where every card you buy, that all of it goes to the warehouse at once, and you pay for a single shipping cost to you. So you cut down on those bulk orders that you put in. You only have to pay a single shipping cost. So that's super cool. Very, very efficient a way that Card Trader works. So yeah, go check them out. Very, very cool website.
Alright, so as always here, I have the whole deck pulled up for you guys so you can kind of follow along with what we're working with here. Now, a lot of this isn't like too crazy or anything too off the wall from what we've seen before. Just a couple things in here. Yeah, there's a couple one-ofs in here. I know, mind blown, but there's actually a reason for that, and I want to actually discuss that. Because of the red memory boost, basically, I could drop the red memory boost and bump up both those one-ofs to 2 each, or I decided I could cut those down and run the red memory boost instead, just for like bigger, more explosive turns. But yeah, let's go ahead and do the card by card for those that aren't like familiar with like the overall strategy and things like that. I would say my build differs a little bit, particularly here with this Greymon and where he's at for the deck. All right, so first up for our babies, of course, we're running the Coromon, the draw. This deck has plenty of DP. Like, we don't need any DP boosting Coromons, so I felt like the draw one would definitely be the more ideal, especially with cards like X Antibody, because you could swing and get a draw off the Coromon and then potentially top deck something that you could X Evo into, which could make huge plays. So a big fan of the Coromon. Next, we've got the new BT12 one. I say new, it's relatively new. It's the on play reveal 4. You can add a Greymon or Omnimon and a tie. And then the inheritable here is all turns. If it's Greymon or Omnimon in name, it gets 1k. That's actually huge. That all turns is actually pretty powerful, which is half the reason I like to run this one as well, particularly in the mirror match. When they try to swing over your stuff, having that extra 1 or 2k actually is super valuable, so I'm a big fan of it. Of course, we have the Agumon X here, just that free Evo for another draw, as well as being able to hit the X Antibody. I kind of came into the issue of not running enough. I was running Agumon X for just a minute at a 2 of, and it ended up being that it's like I desperately needed this card. Half the time, just to hit the X Antibody itself and add it to hand, turning on like my BlackWarX and things like that. So really happy to have it back in the deck at 4 of. I did not really enjoy it at just a 2 of. Next we have the Agumon here. This is our promo plus 2k. He also for a time was at our 2 of slot for the deck, because we weren't really running into an issue where we needed too much DP. Our WarGreymon X Antibody here gives us a big 3k buff when it's evoed and things like that, so we were in a pretty good position. Didn't need any too big of buffs, but now with the rise of more WarGreymon players and things like that, the the mirror matches are way more common, and with the mirror matches being more common, this 2K has been really, really strong just to clear over the opponent's WarGreymons or BlackWarGreymons and such. So again, also happy to have this one thanks to my buddy Jordan. Shout out to you for helping me finish off my playset of the alt arts, the ones with the red borders. Absolutely love those. Very, very cool to have those in the deck at max rarity. Now, some people are cutting it off there at 12. I've always struggled. I've always bricked really bad at just 12 rookies. I've done 13 at a time, and that was okay. 14 also feels really solid. I usually don't have an issue at all with rookies, so I kind of prefer it. Now, you could drop these two Agumons and throw something else into the deck. You could throw in Cool Boys or things like that. I did have the Yuyas in here as well, but going into BT13, I don't see as much security control as much. We'll see if I'm wrong about that, but this is the ultimate flex spot of the deck, is these two Agumons here. They can be your Yuyas, your Cool Boys, whatever you want. But I still do like the just the on play reveal 3. I did drop the Omnimons as well, so I'll go ahead and just swap this out so you can see what the alternative here is that also feels really good in the deck. So I'll go ahead and swap those around like that. So that is the alternative build that you can do. Just whatever your preference is. Like the 12 rookies, like I cannot go lower than that. Like I'm already wishy-washy on it. I could drop the red memory boosts and add them in there. Like it's tight, okay? The deck is actually surprisingly super tight. I'm still running the starter deck one. That security tag +1 is crazy good. This with the piercing Metal Greymon going into to raid, and then going into the Metal Greymon X antibody with the X antibody option to digivolve mid attack is such a stupid strong powerful card. I mean, you're getting 3 security checks of a level 5, usually with some protection from your Greymon X's here. I love this card. I love this card. Just other people don't run it, and that's on them. They like the EX1 when attacking. You get to play out a tie for free. Also, very strong card. Cannot fault them. But since I'm playing this one, I found that I could go without. I'm still a fan of this one. The Evoing 2 stacks at once, particularly in the mirror match, is a must. You get your Raid WarGreymon chilling in raising area, and you build up another stack on field, and this is a fabulous target for that. So you can play out like your black red Agumon, go Agumon X, and then you go into this right here, and then when digivolving, if you don't have a tamer or tie in its name and play, you can play one tie from your hand without paying its cost. So super solid there for your second stack, your on-field stack. That's how I always seem to play the deck. Even if I'm not even necessarily playing in the mirror match, I'm like, okay, let me slowly get my main stack ready in raising area to pop off. I'm going to build up a second stack to make my opponent waste their cards on. So this is my ideal Greymon to use when going for that. I've also seen people use the one Evo Cost Greymon. They like that one as well. But yeah, this one's great for me. In all turns, +1k DP. Again, in the mirror match, that +1k on my opponent's turn is invaluable at times. So big fan of it for sure. So of course we've got our Greymon X's here. We've got the BT9 one, just if you have the two of the same level, you can trash those. Or the Greymon X's here, also an incredible card. I was running 2 X antibody options just because I didn't need it too terribly much, but I've actually decided to bump it up to 3 because it does seem extremely good with a lot of the strategies that we're doing. Again, going back to that Metal Greymon X strategy there with that, the raid and then Evo mid attack, like that's a big playmaker. And also it turns this guy on so we can use his inheritable there, which is also an extremely powerful one. But yeah, mainly this guy's just in here for the civility here, just reducing it for each color that it has. So strong. So we can basically Evo this guy here for 1. This is of course the new Metal Greymon that raids. So you can attack, you change your attack target to the highest DP, and when you do that, so when attack target is switched, you may play one black or red tamer card with a play cost of 4 or less from your hand without paying its cost. This is great for your Yuyas. So you go with the Greymon for the tie, and then Metal Greymon raid, play out a Yuya for free. Super strong combo, and then you use your X antibody option to Evo into the Metal Greymon X and immediately suspend that Yuya. So you've got your piercing, your security attack, +2, +1 or +2, piercing, no options, affect you. Very strong combos. I love it. Now, I did decide to drop down one of each, right? I really like the tech of this. I do miss this card a lot. When Digivolving, D-Digivolve, then delete a 3K or less. The D-Digivolve is actually pretty huge right now. Machinegermon's pretty popular. Now, again, this was heavily played during EX4 format. Will Machinegermon stick around? Possibly, possibly not. But it is a great counter to Machinegermon. Just De-Digivolve it back to that level 5, and then you can go Gaiomon on top of this. Now we're triggering this inheritable. So Gaiomon has Blitz. Your turn, while this Digimon has Dragon Counter Machine in its trait, it can also attack your opponent's unsuspended Digimon. So this is a great way to clear that Machinegermon stack that you just De-Digivolved. I do love this card. I miss it a lot. The 4 Evo cost is staggering, but again, if you have the Greymon X antibody in trait here, it's not nearly as bad. It's only a 2 Evo cost in that situation. Also, if you have multiple ties on field, he can help reduce you down and get you to a manageable level with this. So keep it on your turn just so you can get into that Gaiomon and get that inheritable going. Next, though, I also have the Metal Greymon X antibody here. Its main effect here: when Digivolving until the end of your opponent's turn, this Digimon can't have its DP reduced by your opponent's effects, and it isn't affected by D-Digivolve effects. This is a nice counter to Shine Greymon. If you see those plays coming, go with this Metal Greymon instead. If Metal Greymon or X antibody is in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6,000 DP or less. Nice little generic effect there for a little bit of additional board control. But I love this inheritable, particularly because of all the reboot that we're running in the deck on the Megas here. So we've got the Gaiomon again. I was running the BlackWarGreymon for a bit, but I really missed the Gaiomon a lot. It is my favorite Digimon after all. And then the BlackWarGreymon X with reboot. So really, we're going to be triggering this a ton of this inheritable here. Opponent's turn once per turn. When a Digimon becomes unsuspended, this Digimon has Greymon or Omnimon in its name. Trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. Really strong in those SetCon matchups, right? So you keep triggering your Yuyas turn after turn. There is ways to do it. So like you go into like this Metal Greymon here, and then you go Yuya, get that protection, and then you go into one of your BlackWarGreymons here to pass turn. You have that Yuya protection. So that's really strong. And then if they, if anything reboots or anything like that, you can get that trash of security, and then you can go to a BlackWarGreymon X here as well to get more reboot. Really, really strong. This guy can also Digivolve from BlackWarGreymon if you choose. So then you can go into either of these guys, basically, is the idea there, and get that reboot. And then you can trigger the Yuya again for more protection. But yeah, really strong card, just in general. Really like it. The DP prevention is also super solid. Really good with our 2 reboot Megas that we're running. So yeah. And then this is like the big playmaker that I've already talked about a ton. Been loving this combo. The Metal Greymon, the new Metal Greymon with this, just when Digivolving, gain security tank +1. If it has Metal Greymon or X antibody in its trait or in the source, you also get a plus 3,000 DP. So he's swinging at 11 very easily. 12, 13, 14,000 level 5 with piercing and security attack, +1, +2 potentially. Very, very good card. Also has option, prevention, deletion, and stuff like that. It's good. And then you just go into one of your Megas to pass turn. I particularly like the BlackWarGreymon, of course, the when Digivolving. If this Digimon has red in its sources, you can choose any number of your opponent's Digimon. If it has black in the source Digivolution cards, choose any number of your opponent's Tamers. Then delete up to play cost of 6 or less, right? So you can pop like 3 2 play cost things, 2 3 play cost things, or 1 4 1 2, so on and so forth. Delete a play cost of 5, play cost of 6 Digimon, things like that. Even Mirai, you can delete a Mirai. So I know a lot of people are like, teching around those sort of things, and they're like, well, I'm going to run a Mirai to dodge, you know, certain deletion effects, and then it's like, well, BlackWarGreymon don't care. So yeah, just that tamer hate is so solid, especially in like the Setcon matchup. Keep popping their purple tamers so they can't chaos deg. Very good strategies there. Also in like the Cross or Blue Flare or Hunters matchup, pop those tamers that have the most sources underneath, and you just hard counter them so bad they absolutely hate it. And then all turns, once per turn, when an opponent's Digimon is deleted, you may unsuspend this Digimon. So yeah, pretty good stuff here with this guy. And then either of our other Megas here can Digivolve on top of him. I'm just going to swap that over there. First up is, of course, Gaomon, one of the best Digimon in the game. He's also treated as Greymon in the name. Can Digivolve for 2 on top of our BlackWarGreymon. Security attack +1. Reboot. So we're going to be triggering that Metal Greymon X. And then when Digivolving, if this Digimon has a black Digivolution card, de-Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. If it has a red Blitz, you'll pretty much always have both colors, because most of the cards that we have in those horses are all duo colors. Very, very rare chance would it be like all red. It could happen. I mean, you could go Koromon, Agumon, Security Attack Greymon, Greymon X. You can go straight to the Metal Greymon X antibody and then go into him. It is possible. Highly unlikely. But yeah, so that de-Digivolve. The only thing you would miss out on is the de-Digivolve, which again is a very, very powerful card in the matchup for Machine Dramon. So, big fan. So, basically, you're going to get a double de-Digivolve. The Metal Greymon and this guy, so you're de-Digivolving too. So, if they've gone into a Chaos Dramon or Chaos Dramon X, you can de-Digivolve them pretty far down. And hopefully get them to a level 5 to go ahead and swing over them. Very, very strong card. Super versatile. Like, the versatility of this card, I mean, this is literally the main deck that I took to Nats. Gaomon was the focus, if for people that remember that. He's a very versatile card and works really well in the deck. Happy to have him back into the deck, because I was trying it without him, and I did miss him a lot. Next, of course, we have BlackWarGreymon X, who's really, really good right now, particularly because of opponent's turn. When your opponent's Digimon with the highest DP attacks, you may switch the attack of that to this Digimon. That's really good against like Blue Flare. Blue Flare is going to swing, and they're going to try to use like their Mel Bergermon to stun you, right? And then you're like, okay, you can stun me all you want. I redirect your Metal Greymon into me, you die. Like, sorry, that sucks. And then, so you got the reboots. We're going to, again, trigger the Metal Greymon X. Super solid. Also, he becomes, a blocker with this. So that's also incredibly strong. Opponent's turn, once per turn. When a Digimon becomes unsuspended, if this Digimon has BlackWarGreymon or X antibody in its Digivolution cards, you may delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest play cost. So again, with the reboot, incredibly powerful combinations there. So he's just going to reboot during your opponent's turn and immediately pop something with the lowest play cost. Extremely powerful, versatile card. I mean, not quite Death X level, but still very frustrating of a card for your opponent to have to handle. So I'm absolutely going to keep running him. Next, I'm running 4 ties. I know it seems excessive a little bit, but it's kind of needed. So, start of your turn or on play, one of your Digimon, Agumon or Greymon, its name gets 1000 DP and gains blocker until the end of your opponent's turn. Extremely valuable skill, just all around great. We have multiple ways to play him for free. The Greymon or the Metal Greymon raid, that, when he uses his raid ability, he can play this guy out. And then your turn, when one of your Digimon digivolves into a Digimon with Greymon or Omnimon its name, by suspending this tamer, gain 1 memory. Our Evo costs are a little steep in this deck. So we have a couple 5 Evo costs. We got some 4 Evo costs here, 4 Evo costs here. He's going to help mitigate all that. And I think that's really great. Even with a memory fixer, you still need at least 1 tie on field most of the time, sometimes 2, for the case of those 5 Evo cost guys. So, yeah, I went ahead and bumped him up to 4 finally. I was running him at 3 but 4 feels really strong. So I don't mind it, especially since we can play him for free so easily. And also the Yuya, which we already talked about a good bit. Start of your turn, if you have 2 or less, get set to 3. So he's a memory fixer for you. But also your turn, when one of your Digimon digivolves into a Greymon in its name by suspending this tamer that has that Digimon gets plus 2k until the end of your opponent's turn. Until the end of your opponent's turn. So again, that's really good in like the mirror match, just getting, you know, buffed up so they can't just go like Gaiomon over you or raid WarGreymon over you or raid Metal Greymon over you. This guy's going to help keep you alive pretty well. If it Digivolved into a same level Digimon, it isn't affected by your opponent's option cards until the end of your opponent's turn. Against Setcon, they're pretty slow. Like, you have time to dig for Yuya pretty often, so just be careful with your searches because you could bottom deck your Yuya very easily. But you don't have to rush, right? So you can keep Digivolving and keep evoing and drawing to your Yuya. Particularly, you're going to want the security attack +1 Greymon in the raising area, right? And then you're going to set up for your Metal Greymon X antibody play for another security attack. And then the idea is then to go into like your Gaiomons and stuff like that. You know, BlackWarGreymon, Gaiomon. Get your Blitz ability, so on, so forth. You don't even you can skip the BlackWarGreymon, you know, whatever. But the idea is to then get security attack +3 underneath you, so you're swinging for 4 with that Yuya protection against Setcon. Very, very strong, for sure. And you're still going to be swinging for, you know, security attack +2, so for 3 checks on the following turn as well. That's 7 in total. That's pretty solid. Yeah, I definitely don't mind that at all. Next up, we got the X antibody, which is just a must-have. Security, gain 1 memory, like that's always solid, and it adds it to your hand, so you don't even lose it. That's incredibly invaluable there. Then you slide it underneath one of your Digimon, and then when attacking here is the important part. If this Digimon can Digivolve into a Digimon card with X antibody and its traits in your hand for its Digivolution cost. If you're not familiar, that's like the big play with this card. As you swing mid-attack, you Digivolve into a card with the X antibody trait. It doesn't have to have X antibody just in the name. Like, look, it's Dragonkin X antibody, but then we'll go look at like Gaiomon, right? Gaiomon's a Dragonkin with X antibody also. So you could Digivolve into Gaiomon mid-attack if you want it, even though he does have Blitz. So super strong card. Also, I think an ability that gets overlooked a lot is effects can't trash X antibody in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, so they can't, you know, trash down your sources, so that way the Metal Greymon can stun you, right? That you can't do that. Sorai and stuff like that is getting really popular, so this X antibody card will be really strong in those matchups where that card is being teched in. Now we have the 2 Hades Force just because this card is freaking busted in this deck. If you have an X antibody in its Digivolution cards, reduce the play cost by 2, so it's a 5 play cost if your X antibody is underneath one of your Digimon. Sounds good to me. Choose any number of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers whose combined play costs are less than or equal to the play cost of one of your Digimon with Greymon in its name, and delete all of the chosen cards. Then one of your Digimon with Greymon in its name may attack a player. So, like some combos with this, play it for 5. Pick one of your level 5s here. So 8 play cost worth of stuff. That's 2 4 play cost Tamers. You know, that's 2 3 play cost Tamers, so on and so forth. So you can get some really good Tamer hate. You pretty much always reserve this for popping Tamers, depending on the matchup. Most of the time, I would say like 80% of the time, you're going to use this for Tamer hate. Because the rest of the deck can just handle Digimon, like the BlackWarGreymon, the Gaiomon, you know, attacking unsuspended, raiding over stuff. They can handle Digimon pretty well, but Tamer hate can be a bit of a tricky situation. So the Hades Force, you want to reserve these cards. If you can handle the Digimon with what you have on field, do that. Save this card for Tamers, and you'll really be thankful. So then you can force your level 5s to attack, and then use that X antibody underneath your Digimon then to go into one of your Megas. So now keep in mind that's a really expensive play. That's like 10 memory worth of stuff there, but it could be very, very strong if you just wipe your opponent out. Especially like Hades Force, clear all your Tamers, and then force my Digimon to attack, and then I'm going to Digivolve mid-attack into like my BlackWarGreymon X, so I'm going to attack over something, and then during my opponent's turn, I'm going to reboot, and then BlackWarGreymon X is going to pop something else. I'm going to clear 2 Digimon, I'm going to clear all their Tamers off of a single Hades Force. Granted, again, it's a lot of memory. And then rounding out the list, just the 2 red memory boosts, just that reveal 4, add a red. The whole deck is red, so you're going to be able to grab anything you want, any Digimon you want, and then that delay gain 2. That delay gain 2 is not something to be overlooked in conjunction with like a Yuya here. So you've got the memory fixer and a tie and a red memory boost on field. That's nuts. That's a huge turn. You can absolutely take advantage of that incredibly easy. So that's why I went ahead and put this in here just for, again, we have some massive costed Digimon in this deck. And sometimes just having the tamers here is not enough. And so I really like the red memory boost. So I decided to put these in there and cut the other guys down to 1 each, just because he felt really versatile. I can use this to potentially grab these guys if I need them, depending on the match. So I don't really mind it all that much. But that is the deck. Hopefully this wasn't too long. No, it's not too bad. If you have any questions, feel free to put in the comment section below. I'll happily answer anything that you guys got. If you think I missed something, I didn't include something that you think I should have, or just curious on why I didn't include it, go ahead and put in the comment section below what you think, and I'll just try to reply to it as soon as I can. And also, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. If you made it this far in the video, you listen to me talk for like 30 minutes straight and you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Get us to that 5K. We're going quick. It's actually going up very, very, very quickly right now. So get us to that 5K. We'll do a big giveaway for you guys, and I'll post a video dedicated to it, and we'll do some giveaways. I've got some really cool ideas for what to do for you guys. So please go check it out, or please subscribe, and then and I'll get that video done as soon as we hit that 5K or get close to it.